Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Gunachari Yamuna Tira Gunachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Guru Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hare Krishna, everybody. So today we'll start first by reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, and starting from what was finished, what was done yesterday. From there and started reading. Abhay had felt this also in his assigned reading in M. Ghosh's England's work in India. He had encountered the theory that the Vedic scriptures were impure, recent writings, and that India had been a spiritually backward culture before British rule and the spread of Christianity. There were many British insults against the Shastras, such as Abhay's professor trying to discount the law of karma. But if India could gain national freedom, then everyone, not only Indians, but the entire world could benefit from India's highly evolved Vedic culture. The call to Swaraj, although covert, attracted virtually all the students, and Abhay amongst them. He was especially interested in Gandhi. Gandhi always carried a Bhagavad Gita. He daily read Lord Krishna's holy words and spoke of being guided by the Gita above all other books. Gandhi's personal habits were pure. He abstained from all intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex. He lived simply like Sadhu, yet he seemed to have more integrity than the begging sadhus Abhay had seen in many times. Abhay read his speeches and followed his activities. Maybe Gandhi could carry spirituality into the field of action. The Gita's truth, Gandhi proclaimed, belonged in a most prominent place where the Gita not only could be read, but could work for everyone's freedom. And the symbol of that freedom was Swaraj. Nationalist sympathies at Scottish Church College remained underground during the Abhay's years as a student. It was a prestigious school. A student had to study very seriously to obtain a degree there, and he could then look forward a fine career to speak openly against the British rule and in favor of independence meant to risk being expelled. To lose education and career, only the most rebellious would dare. So the students were met undercover and listened to the revolutionary leaders. We want Swaraj, we want independence, our own government, our own school. Hare Krishna. So we finished that one. And so now we'll read from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, so from today we'll read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17, verse 1 and 1 to 5. The heading of this canto is Creation of the Fourth Order. The heading of this chapter is Maharaja Prithu becomes Singhavanath. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Srinnatam Shapata Krishna Punno Savana Kirtanam Hridiyantasto Hi Avadrani Vidhunoti Shurit Shatam Nashta Prayesho Avadreshu Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki Nantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Joy. So I'm just sharing the screen. So can everybody see the screen?
Would you maximize the window, please?
Maximize? Okay.
Yeah, window. Yeah.
Is it all right? I mean,
yeah, go to the settings on the top.
On the settings.
Yeah, after menu settings.
Menu settings, yes.
Yeah.
And then
just increase the font size. That's fine. Slide it in the top of bar. Green bar.
Justify text, is it that one?
No. Top one green bar, just the button, increase it. Slightly. Yeah, move it.
On this side? Or?
Yeah, right side.
I'm trying to do that.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Yeah. Just a little bit scroll that window.
Okay. So is it all right now?
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you.
Evam Maitra Uvacha Evam Bhagavan Boinyaha Khyapito Gunakarmavi Chandayama Shotan Kamohe Proti Pujya Vinandacha Maitra Uvacha Evam Bhagavan Boinyaha Khyapito Gunakarmavi Chandayama Shotan Kamohe Proti Pujya Vinandacha. Anyone wants to read out?
Yeah.
Evam sha bhagavan vainya khapito guna karmabhi chandayamastan kamoi prati pujya vinandacha.
Let me try, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you can try.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Maitreya uvacha evam sa bhagavan vainya kyapito guna karmabhi chandayamasadan kamaya pradipujya vinandaya cha. Hare Krishna.
So, because there are so many verses to read, I'm just reading. I mean, we are restricting to not many people, and so I'm reading the translation.
Synonyms?
The first the synonyms, and the synonym. Oh, can anybody read the synonyms, please?
I'll try, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Maitreya Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya continued to speak. Evam, thus, Sa, he, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Vainya, in the form of the son of King Veena, Kyapita, being glorified, Guna Karma Vihi, by qualities and factual activities, Chandayam Asa, pacified, Tan, those reciters, Kamai, by various presentations, Prati Pujya, offering all respects, Abhinandya, offering prayers, Cha, also. Thank you, Prabhu.
Could you please continue with the translation as well?
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued. In this way, the reciters who were glorifying Maharaja Prithu readily described his qualities and chivalrous activities. At the end, Maharaja Prithu offered them various presentations with all due respects and worshipped them adequately. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Now, second, Brahmana, and now I'm reading verse 2. Brahmana pramukhan varnan vrittam amatta purodashaha pauranjana padan srenihi prakritihi shamo pujayat. Brahmana pramukhan varnan vritta amatta purodashaha pauranjana padan srenihi prakritihi shamo pujayat. Can anyone please read? Follow.
Right?
Yeah.
Brahmano pramukhan varnan Vritya matya purodhasha Puranjana padan srenihi Prokritihi shama pujayat.
Can anyone please the synonyms, please? You can. Prabhuji, yes, you can do that.
Brahmana Pramukhan, unto the leaders of the Brahmana community. Varnan, to the other castes. Britya, servants. Amatya, ministers. Purodasha, to priests. Pauran. Ana Padan, to his countrymen. Shreni, to the different communities. Prakriti, to the admirers. Sama Pujayat, he gave proper respects. Thank you, Prabhu.
So anyone can read the translation as well, please?
King Prithu thus satisfied and offered all respect to all the leaders of the Brahmanas and other castes, to his servants, to his ministers, and to the priests, citizens, general countrymen, people from other communities, admirers, and others, and thus they all became happy.
Now, verse 3. Vidura uvacha kashma dadaro gorupam dhuritri vahurupini yang yadoho prithus tatra ko vatsho dohanam chakim. Vidur uvacha kashma dadaro gorupam dhuritri vahurupini yang dadoho prithus tatra ko vatsho dohanam chakim. Can anyone please read the synonyms and also the translation?
Viduro uvacha kashma dadharo gorupam Dharitri Bahurupini Yam Dudoha Pitustatro Kovatsho Dohanam Chakim.
Yes. Can someone please the synonyms and the translation, please?
Krishnapriji, let me read. Vidura Vacha, Vidura inquired, Kasmat, why? Tadara took Gorupam, the shape of a cow. Daritri, the earth. Bahurupini, who has many other forms. Yam, whom. Dudoha, milked. Prutaha, king Prutu. Tatra, there. Kaha, who. Vatsaha, the calf. Dohana, the milking pot. Cha, also. Kim, what?
And the translation as well as Prabhu?
Translation, Srila Prabhu Ki Jai. Vidura inquired from the great sage Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, since Mother Earth can appear in different shapes, why did she take the shape of a cow? And when King Prithu milked her, who became the calf, and what was the milking pot?
Thank you, Prabhuji. And now, verse 4. Prakrita Vishama Devi Pita Ten Shama Kathan Tasya Mitham Hayam Devaha Kasya Hetur Apahara. Prakrita Vishama Devi Pita Ten Shama Katham Tasya Mitham Hayam Devaha Kasya Hetur Apahara. Can
Prakrita Vishama Devi Krita Tena Shama Katham Tasya Medhyam Hayam Devaha Kasya Hetorapahara.
Can someone please the synonyms and the translation, please?
Yeah, I'll try, Prabhu. Prakritya, by nature. Vishama, not level. Hina, by him. Sama, level. Katham, how. Tasya, his. Medhyam, meant for offering in the sacrifice. Hayam, the horse. Deva, the demigod Indra. Kasya, for what? Hetu, reason. Apahara, stole. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The surface of the earth is by nature low in some places and high in others. How did King Prithu level the surface of the earth? And why did the king of heaven, Indra, steal the horse meant for sacrifice? Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, the next one I have to just. And the last verse, in verse 5. Shanat Kumarad Bhagavato Brahman Brahma Veduttamat Labdha Gyanam Shabhikyanam Rajarshihi Kang Goting Gataha. Shanat Kumarad Bhagavato Brahman Bhagavat Brahma Vid Uttamat Labdha Gyanam Shabhikyanam Rajarshihi Kang Goting Gataha.
Sanat Kumarad Bhagavato Brahman Brahma Viduttamat Lobdha Gyanam Shabhigyanam Rajarshihi Kam Gatim Gataha.
Can anyone please read the synonyms and the translation?
Yeah, let me read, Prabhu. Sanat Kumara, from Sanat Kumara. Bhagavata, the most powerful. Brahman, my dear Brahmana. Brahmavit Uttamat, well versed in the Vedic knowledge. Labdva, after achieving. Jnanam, knowledge. Sa Vijnana, for practical application. Rajarishi, the great saintly king. Kam, which. Gatim, destination. Gataha, achieved. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great saintly king, Maharaja Prithu, received knowledge from Sanat Kumara, who was the greatest Vedic scholar. After receiving knowledge to be applied practically in his life, how did that saintly king attain his desired destination?
And purport?
Can I read?
Yes.
The purport. There are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, systems of disciplic succession. One Sampradaya comes from Lord Brahma, one from the goddess of fortune, one from the Kumaras, headed by Sanat Kumara, and one from Lord Shiva. These 4 systems of disciplic succession are still going on. As King Prithu has illustrated, one who is serious about receiving transcendental Vedic knowledge must accept a guru or spiritual master in one of these 4 disciplic successions. It is said that unless one accepts a mantra from one of these sampradayas, the so-called mantra will not act in Kali Yuga. Many sampradayas have sprung up without authority and they are misleading the people by giving unauthorized mantras. The rascals of these so-called sampradayas do not observe the Vedic rules and regulations. Although they are addicted to all kinds of sinful activities, they still offer the people mantras and thus mislead them. Intelligent persons, however, know that such mantras will never be successful, and as such, they never patronize such upstart spiritual groups. People should be very careful of these nonsensical sampradayas. To get some facility for sense gratification, unfortunate people in this age receive mantras from these so-called sampradayas. Prithu Maharaj, however, showed by his example that one should receive knowledge from a bona fide sampradaya. Therefore, Maharaj Prithu accepted Sanat Kumar as his spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So I am, before starting, I'm just Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupo Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Shaddaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sarita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shavana Lalita Sri Vishakannitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Haripte Panchakalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhu Prevacha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Prabhupadanugami Sri Shubha Goswamine Sada Danya Shri Shubhagaya Sarva Jiva Kripabdhe Guru Shiksha Sadacharo Palokayo Namastute Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshotarine Namo Mahabadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namo Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Guru Dinutaranam. Hare Krishna, everybody. In the previous chapter, which was just completed yesterday, we have seen that King Prithu is being glorified by the professional reciters. And during the glorification process or the time, that was during his coronation, various qualities of King Prithu, and King Prithu, who is naturally very humble and respectable to Brahmanas and all others, qualities of King Prithu are being praised by the professional reciters. And to mention a few that was being mentioned by them, and just as a continuity, King Prithu will please all the citizens. King Prithu as chestier of a religion and protector of religious principle. King Prithu as protector of the world. And King Prithu to remain just like a fire. As fire is not approachable, the people, they will not be able to approach him. And the king Prithu will respect all women, and the king will perform 100 sacrifices. So these were some of the qualities that was being mentioned by the professional reciters. And we have already known that he is a Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord. Shaktavesh avatar means is a partial incarnation of the Lord. The Supreme Lord has incarnated as Prithu Maharaj to teach us what should be the duties and activities of an ideal king. As you know, the king and the Lord has told that he descends to the earth to annihilate the wicked people and to protect the devotees. So here in this case, the Lord has incarnated as Prithu Maharaj to show us the duty and activities of an ideal king. In the beginning of this chapter, we've seen that and also at the end of the glorification, Prithu Maharaj has offered various, in the verse Shloka 1, it was mentioned that Prithu Maharaj has offered them various presentations with all respect and worshipped them adequately. So one thing we should remember here, that the dan or the donations that are to be made, and that also in the Shaktic form has to qualify certain conditions. And it is referred in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17 verse 20. I'm just reading the English version of that. It shows charity given out of duty without expectation of return and at the proper time and place to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. And we see here Prithu Maharaj has fulfilled all the conditions. He has given this charity as a matter of duty without any expectation of return. He has given, he doesn't expect them to return them. And also at the proper time, when the Brahman was in another place and the coronation activities was going on, he is given the proper time and place, and also to worthy person, the Brahmanas and others who deserved it. And so all the conditions of mode of goodness, of charity, has been fulfilled by Prithu Maharaj. And he also, and in the second part, it is told that he has also offered all respect to all the leaders of the Brahmanas and other social communities, to the servants, to his own servants, and to the ministers, to his ministers, to the priests, citizens, general countrymen, people from other communities, admirers and others, and thus they all became happy. So we see that Prithu Maharaj, by his conduct and activities, is pleasing everybody. That is one of the qualities of a king, desired qualities of a king. And in the verse 3, we say that next we find that Vidura is making, in verse 3, we find that Vidur is making inquiry about activities of King Prithu. Particularly, he inquires about the activities of Earth planet and King Prithu. And we have seen that Prithu Maharaj has compassion for all living beings. The citizens, of course, it is given in the later part of this chapter that the citizens were hungry and they had not enough food. So it is the king's responsibility to see that there is enough food for all his citizens, and no one goes hungry at the end of the day. So he chastised the Earth planet for not supplying enough food to the citizen. This has been explained in the later part, as I have told earlier. He also made other inquiries. Viduru is making inquiries like, why did Mother Earth take the shape of a cow? And when King Prithu milked her, and who became the calf, and what was the making of the pot? So what was the milking pot? Sorry, what is the milking pot? So another inquiry letter made by Viduru was, how did King Prithu level the surface of the earth, which is by nature low in some places and high in other places? The earth surface is not flat always. Somewhere it is up, somewhere it is low. Why King Prithu has leveled them? So these are the questions is being asked by Vidura in Shloka 4. But the things have been dealt with incidentally at a later part. So we're not discussing that one. I'm just mentioning that what was the question. And Vidura's another inquiry is about Indra, the king of heaven. Why did King Indra steal the horse meant for the sacrifice? So the story why Indra steal the horses was told by earlier speakers, and but it's just as a continuity of the sloka. I'm briefly stating it as little as possible. King Indra is known as the is also called Shatokrotu. Shato means 100 and Krotu means performer. So it indicates that he performed 100 sacrifice or Ashwamedha Yajna. So we should know one thing. We should remember that the position of Indra is Indra is a position. Indra is not an individual acting as in that position is called Indra. Just like as an example, sometimes a High Court judge is told or the Supreme Court judge is told. Supreme Court judge is a position, and it is told by someone who is acting as a Supreme Court judge or a judge of the court. Similarly, the Indra means the person who was acting as Indra. His position was being threatened. So that is why he tried to steal the horse when Prithu Maharaj was conducting his 100 sacrifice. Ashwamedha Yajna was trying to perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. King Indra felt very disturbed because he thought that then someone else will become Indra and his position is being threatened. So as just like in the material level, in the material level it happens, even in the Swarga also, although it is a place of, it's a the prominence of the three qualities, Sattva, Raja and Tamo. Sattva is prominent there, but still it is a mixture also. So he is also not free from this last of being agony of losing his position. So he did that, and we'll now discuss. Now we'll discuss a few important aspects of King Prithu's life. King Prithu, it is so far we have seen that as a king he has successfully dealt with all the problems of his citizens, and that is the material level and also spiritually also, that was being told earlier. But now spiritual and made all of them happy. Unless there is spiritual, if a person is satisfied both materially and spiritually, he cannot be happy. So Vidura is asking Maitreya about the meeting of the four Kumaras and Prithu Maharaj, showing the spiritual aspect of King Prithu's life. And King Prithu was not only a successful political leader as a king, solving all the problems of his citizen, but he himself also led a very disciplined spiritual life. And when Sanat Kumaras, I'll tell you about Sanat Kumara in details about, to some extent, before that, what happened, I'm just telling. The four Kumaras came to the palace of Prithu and enlightened him about the transcendental knowledge and how to apply them in his daily life. King Prithu accepted these words of Sanat Kumar and also accepted Diksha from him. This became a turning point of his life. Srila Prabhupada has in his purport, we have seen that he has emphasized the need of taking Diksha from a bona fide Guru and bona fide Sampradaya. So first I am telling first of the bona fide Sampradayas, and then I will talk about the four Kumars. So bona fide Sampradaya, there are four, as Prabhupada has told in the paragraph, and also in various other places. There are four, Prabhupada is also in various places, I have noted down, that in Srimad Bhagavatam here in the purport, in 1:18 and 21, I'm reading out what Prabhupada has told, that there are four sects of worshipable devotees of the Lord, and the chief among them are the Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, descending from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, goddess of fortune Lakshmi, respectively. Beside the above mentioned three Sampradayas, there is a Kumara Sampradaya, descending from Sanat Kumara. All of the four original Sampradayas are still scrupulously engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord up to the date, and they will declare that Lord Krishna Mukunda is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no other personality is equal to him. The same thing, Prabhupada, in a letter to one of his disciples, Upendra, in 968, in 13th of February in Boston, he has written this also. The same thing, I'm just reading out the relevant portion. Four Sampradayas, beginning of the creation. There are four Sampradayas from the beginning of the creation. One is called Brahma Sampradaya, the other is known as disciplic succession from Brahma, and another Sampradaya is coming down from Lakshmi, called Sri Sampradaya, and another coming down from Kumaras. They are known as Nimbarka Sampradaya, and another Sampradaya is coming from Lord Shiva, Rudra Sampradaya or Vishnu Sampradaya. These are four bona fide Sampradayas that are accepted by bona fide spiritualists. The impersonalist Sampradaya is not original, neither the impersonalist Sampradaya or party can help us, because we do not accept the Mayavadis, the limited knowledge, so we do not accept them as a bona fide Sampradaya also. Otherwise, the Prabhupada has, in his in verse 44 in Teachings of Lord Kapila, has told that in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, some devotees worship Radha Krishna and other worship Sitaram or Lakshminarayan. Some of these worship Rukmini Krishna, but all these are the same. And all of the devotees of the Vaishnavas, whether one chants Hare Krishna or Hare Rama, it is not very important. Worship of the demigod is not recommended. So the Bongyo Gauriya Madhya Gauriya Sampradaya, we are told, and we worship Radha Krishna, but others, some others are also there, the Vaishnavas, they also take Sitaram and sometimes Lakshminarayan, but ultimately it is the same. And now, and I'll tell a bit more about the four Sampradaya. The Brahma Sampradaya is also known as Madhava Sampradaya. Lakshmi Sampradaya is also called Ramanuja Sampradaya, and or Sri Sampradaya, and or Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya also. So these are the various names of Lakshmi Sampradaya. And similarly, the Sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva is called Rudra Sampradaya. And Vishnu Shani Sampradaya also they are called because he is the Acharya. Just as in Brahma Sampradaya, Madhavacharya is the Acharya. So he's called, similarly in Lakshmi Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya Acharya. They are also called Ramanujacharya Sampradaya. And similarly, in Lord's the Sampradaya coming down from Shiva onwards is called Rudra Sampradaya, and Vishnu Swami being and Vallabhacharya being their acharyas, they are also called Vishnu Sampradaya or Vallabha Sampradaya. And the Kumar Sampradaya that is being referred here as Ritu Maharajas, they're taken from Sanat Kumar. They are descending from Kumaras, four Kumaras, and they are called Nimbarka Sampradaya because Nimbarka is the Acharya, and similarly they are called and the Mayavadi school, they're normally the Smartha Sampradaya. We are not discussing that one. Their Acharya is Shankaracharya and Adi Shankaracharya, but we are not discussing. And they are now we are taking of the commentaries. Normally, each of the Sampradaya or the bona fide Sampradaya have got their commentaries on Brahma Samhita. So and the commentaries of the Brahma Sampradaya or the Madhavacharya Sampradaya is called Purna Pragya Bhashya, Purna Pragya. But from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the branch of Madhavacharya, from starting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Bhashya is called Govinda Bhashya. It was written Baladev Vidyabhushan. And Lakshmi Sampradaya is called Sri Bhashya, and similarly Shiva Sampradaya is called Sarvagya Bhashya. Sarvagya Bhashya is the commentaries on Vedanta by the Sri Sampradaya. Sorry, Shiva Sampradaya. And similarly for the Kumara Sampradaya, they have called Parijato Saurabha Bhashya. Their Bhashya, the commentaries they have made on Brahma Samhita is called Parijato Saurabha Bhashya. But the Mayavadi school normally uses, they have got the version from Shankaracharya that is called Sharir Kavash. So we are not, as we have told, we are not concerned with that. And Prabhupada has told that we should not read the Mayavadi version at all. And now the tattvas, or the various versions of the relationship between the Supreme Lord and the human and the human being is in every tattvas has been dealt with, and what they're called in Madhvacharya is Shuddha Dvaitavad, or purified dualism. The Madhvacharya's philosophy is called Dvaitacharya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is, he has given subsequently, is called Achinto Ved Aved, inconceivable oneness and difference. Achinto Ved Aved, that is their tattva, or this is our philosophy. And as I have told, in case of Lakshmi Sampradaya, it is called Vishishta Advaita, or specific monoism. Similarly, from the Shiva Sampradaya, it is Shuddha Advaitavad, or purified monoism. And for the Kumara Sampradaya, it is called Dvaita Advaitavad, monoism and dualism. So these are in details the four Sampradaya and what is their philosophy and what they deal with that. I have tried to explain some of them. And now the other thing is about the four Kumaras. I mean, some the Sanat Kumaras from whom Prithu Maharaj has taken initiation. I'm taking I'm trying to give a brief more information on the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras. Can anyone please tell what are the four names of the Kumaras? What are the names of the four Kumaras?
I think Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, that's correct. So these are the four Kumar, and now we will tell about in fact, during the creation, Brahma, they were created from the body of the Brahma, from his mind, from the mind of Brahma. They were created, and they are famous in the Puranas and also in Upanishad, and they have been described. They are renowned yogis, and they requested their father for the boon to remain permanently 5 years old, and they were initially created, as I told, during the creation by his father Brahma to advance creation. However, they choose to undertake lifelong vow of celibacy. They wanted to remain brahmachari throughout their life, and it is mentioned in Vishnu Yavala that during initiation, they took initiation 18 syllables Sri Gopal Mantra. Gopal Mantra, and this holy 18-syllable mantra comes from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord Krishna or Srimad Narayan. It was accepted by the four Kumaras, and also, they were impersonalists. But after initiation, they became they fully devoted to Lord Sri Krishna. And in there, and during that, there is a mention that after Sanat Kumar has made created certain some famous treatise to worship the Radha Krishna, and they are mentioned in the Pancharatra literature. Their teaching we can found in the Vedic literature, and it is also it is due to tradition coming in contact with four Kumaras. It is also called Shanukadi Sampradaya or Kumar Sampradaya also. And it is mentioned that Vaishnava, that they also received Shaligram Shila, known as Sri Sarva Bhagavan, that Shila they received during their initiation process, and it was passed on from each guru to their disciple also subsequently. And it is mentioned by Lord Krishna that the Krishna, that in his conversation with Uddhav, Lord Krishna has told that I have taught this yoga to my disciples, to the four brothers, Haridvashana Kumar. And it goes like that. Etavan yoga adishto machisya yoi shankaradivi. That means I taught this yoga to my disciples. So the path of spiritual realization, here we want to mean by that, is that the path of spiritual realization is difficult, and one has to maintain the purity of it. As Prabhupada has clearly explained in the verse of the last verse, in the verse 5, that nowadays a lot of people have come up with different sampradaya, and they are giving their mantra which is not valid. And as a matter of fact, if we try to see that what is a valid, why they are not valid, the process of initiation has to be taken through disciplic succession. And without disciplic succession, one cannot have the proper spiritual knowledge, because the knowledge comes from Lord Himself. Dharma tu sakshat bhagavan punitam. So if the knowledge does not come from Lord Himself, then it is not authorized. And Srila Rupa Goswami if one does not take the proper the source is not correct, then the mantra they will get it, and it will not be effective. And as a result, those who are receiving this knowledge, they can neither get the spiritual knowledge, they will not get the proper transcendental knowledge, nor they will be able to initiate and to give another one the proper spiritual knowledge. As a result of which, the whole process will be a useless effort. And in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, the first verse is that Imam vivasate yogam proktavan vivashan manove prahu manoriksha kave bravit. And that is the thing. That means the Lord is telling that I have initially given the spiritual knowledge to Vibhoshan, and Vibhoshan gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshaku. So in this way, and the second verse, 4.2, it says, Evam parampara prapta imam rajarshayo vidu chakalena mahata yoga nashtaparta. So if we look at the first line, imam rajarsh parampara prapta, this knowledge was previously given to the kings who are Rajarshi. And in fact, if we see here, King Prithu is also being referred as Rajarshi here. So that means he was the proper person to receive this knowledge, and he knew how to receive it and how to transmit it to its subjects, so that it percolates to the society, and every person in his kingdom or subsequently were able to get the proper spiritual knowledge and get themselves elevated and go back to Godhead. That was the thing King Prithu has tried to enforce. And so we must be very careful about how the transcendental knowledge is being spread nowadays. As Prabhupada has told various cases that nowadays improper knowledge is being spread, and as a result of which people will not be able to go back to Godhead, because the very purpose of going back to Godhead is being frustrated because of that. And Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he has quoted from Brahma Devala, Sruti Sriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidin Vina Ahituki Hare Bhaktir Utpataiva Kalpati. That means that the devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literature like Upanishad, Purans, and Pancharatra are simply unnecessary disturbance to the society. They will neither be proper spiritual knowledge themselves, nor they will be able to enlighten others as a tool. Those who are highly advanced in knowledge and situated in the mode of goodness, follow the Vedic instruction of Shruti and Smriti and Guru Parampara. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned his followers not to become independent and impounded. Unfortunately, after his disappearance, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared from this earth, and some Aposampradaya, or they're called so-called followers, they came into existence, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained clearly about the present. During his time, he has listed out some various Aposampradaya that came during his time, and they are Aul, Baul, Kartavaja, Neda, Daravesh, Shani, Sahajia, Shokiveki, Smarta, and Jad Gosai, Utivadi, Churadhari, and Gauranga Nagari, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhaktivinoda Thakur cautioned us about the faulty practices they had followed, claiming themselves they are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur warned the devotees about these material desires that spoil the purity of the sadhana and devotional service. So they are desirous of money, sex, and honor that spoil the devotional service. So those who have full faith in the words of his Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, there is always chance of falling down. Both, and in fact, both Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Prabhupada also spend their time and energy to fight against these faulty practices and stress the importance that we should maintain strict purity in spiritual life. And in fact, Prabhupada's famous, everybody knows it, I'm just repeating it. Books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So Prabhupada commented that this Sankirtan movement, which is the only way of transcendental progress in this moment, that can remain pure. The movement created by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will remain forceful in the coming 10,000 years if we maintain purity. So we have a great responsibility in keeping the purity of this movement, which which Prabhupada has started, and as a part and parcel of this movement, we should maintain it and also see that it is maintained within us and in our activities, in our personal life as well. And then we'll be able to influence others, and the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be successful, as Prabhupada has told. So with that, I am concluding. And if anybody has any comments or any corrections, please make, and I'll be happy to hear from.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing. Very nice. In fact, like many of this information is not known. Like all the scriptures of the various sampradayas you have shared. That's very, especially the Vedanta Sutra commentaries and the acharyas of the various sampradayas. Thank you for sharing all that information. So just had one question or something to clarify. So this upper sampradaya, as you mentioned, that is, so how do that compare to this impersonalists? Is it as bad as the impersonalists or better than impersonalists, or how does it compare? This upper sampradaya, what you mentioned, or is it also just another form of impersonalism? That one.
Yes, yeah, Prabhuji, it is two things is there. One is for the impersonalist, difference between impersonalist and us, between the Vaishnavas, is that they have got incomplete knowledge, and the impersonalist, as they are as far as the austerities they do, they are very sincere in that. So only thing is that what Prabhupada has told, their knowledge is incomplete, in the sense they have not the proper knowledge of the God. But the process they follow, I mean, they have got sincerity and they have got purity also. We do not normally do not doubt that. But in case of the Upasampradayas, they are what I will say, they have deteriorated. Although they worship the personal form of the Lord, but they do not they do not follow the Shastric procedure, and also it is tainted by material contamination. So two things are there. One is that they do not follow the Shastric principle, and also it is contaminated by material lust and other things. In their life, they do not personal austerity they do not make, and they want to make it very easy, and they have devised their own ways to do that, which is not accepted by Shastra. So we reject them.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, just to clarify on the one is incomplete one, that they are not impure, but here they say that they also say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is their Lord, but they do not follow the Shastric rules, and also personal whims, their whims and I mean desire they try to fulfill in the name of spiritual advancement, which they can never do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, that clarified it. Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any queries, or anybody wants to make any comment? So it appears there's no one to make any comment. So Prabhu, we can conclude the session now then in that case.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Kripā sindhuvya vacha patitānāṁ pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Sakoti Vaishnav Sangh ki Jai. Abhash Goswami Prabhu ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
All Bhakta Vrinda ki